What makes people believe that we are here for a good reason? It doesn't matter what happens in the world, people will continue to believe that we are here for a good reason. It doesn't matter what happens in their lives, they will continue to believe that we are here for a good reason. Do we feel like we are here for a good reason because we've been programmed to feel that way? So that we will perpetuate our own suffering? We love justifying the evil of this world. Sometimes we tell ourselves that everything that's happening is natural, so it's good. Sometimes we tell ourselves that there's a God who knows what he's doing. Everything is happening for a good reason. Sometimes we tell ourselves that we're not intelligent enough to understand what's going on, so we must just keep on doing what we've been programmed to do. If a person becomes so conscious that they start asking themselves if we are really here for a good reason, if we're really here for our own good, people tend to think that there's something wrong with them. How can you think that way? Just try to work harder. Maybe you'll make it and you'll be happy. Some people assume that people who are not happy because they're not getting what they want. Some of them are not happy because they're not getting what they want. It's true, but there are people who are not happy because they feel like something is wrong. So it wouldn't really matter what they get. They wouldn't become happy because they feel like something is wrong with this reality. And it's very logical to think that way. When you consider everything that is going on, when you consider how people are brought here, when you consider the fact that no one really consented to this. I know that there are people who believe that we consented to this, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence that we consented to this. There's zero evidence. And judging by what is happening in the world, it's most likely that if we were conscious before we came here, we were manipulated into coming here, or we were brought here without our consent. It's more logical to think that way. Let me ask you a question. If Elon Musk created a simulation and he said it was perfect, you can learn a lot in that simulation. You'll grow. You're going to become a better person. You're going to be able to love other people because of what you would have learned in that simulation. You'll be able to connect with other people because of what you would have learned that simulation. But you'd forget everything. For you to go and actually learn your lessons in that simulation, you must forget everything. You'll be in that simulation for a certain period of time, and one day you'll exit that simulation and you would have learned a lot of lessons. Do you really think that humans would want to be part of that simulation? Like, yeah, I want to go into a simulation where I don't even remember who I am, what I am, and learn. Do you really think we'll choose that? Do you understand how crazy it is that we have no clue what the heck is really going on here? We have no clue what this is. Do you understand how messed up that is? How, listen, if you don't have knowledge, you can easily get manipulated. It's people who don't have knowledge who get manipulated. So having knowledge is important. Knowing where we come from is really important. Do you think your life will be worse if you knew where you come from? If you knew why you exist? Or do you think that your life would actually be better if you knew where you come from, if you knew why you exist, if you knew what the whole experience is about? It's a very important question. If you knew why you are here, do you think your life will be worse than it is, or it will be better? If you are here for a good reason, if you were here to learn for real and you knew that beyond any reasonable doubt, you knew that, hey, I'm here to learn, and you knew exactly what you were here to learn, don't you think your life would be better? Let's say you were here to learn how to master relationships. Don't you think your life would be much better? If you see that I'm in a relationship with the person and it's not working out, you try to figure out how to make it work. Like, okay, maybe I don't understand them that well. Maybe I don't make them feel loved. Maybe I'm selfish. And you try to figure out how to make the relationship work. I mean, that would be beautiful. If I knew what I was here to do, I would keep on, you know, working on that. But now I'm confused. I don't know what I'm here to do. And no one knows what we are here to do. How can we think we're having a positive experience? How? Who told us we're having a positive experience? Don't we feel like we're having a positive experience because we're naive? Don't we think that we're having a positive experience because we're desensitized? Don't we think that we're having a positive experience because we're selfish? We don't care what's going on in other people's lives. We're not aware of what's going on in other people's lives because we just don't care. We're only looking at our own lives. You're like, hey, things are working out for me, so that automatically means that, we are here for a positive experience as a collective. It doesn't matter to them if there are a lot of people who are actually suffering. I remember on the live video that I published, I showed you our hospital. It's full of sick people who don't deserve to be there and are really sick, they're going through hell. I've only slept in a hospital once in my life. I broke my leg and I had to sleep in a hospital for like a week. I'm 31 now. I mean, I'm turning 31 in 6 days. Right, on the 31st of May, it's my birthday. I've never had to go back to a hospital. So that's being lucky, because there are people who have to keep on going back to a hospital to get treatment because they keep on getting sick. Some people have to like have a surgery performed on them because they're sick. You cannot tell me there's something that they learn from that. What do you learn from being sick? You're not sick because you were doing things wrong, because you were eating wrong. I mean, I used to eat garbage. I used to eat garbage growing up, but I wouldn't like get sick. I mean, like I do get, I do feel sick sometimes, but it's just for like few hours. It's not like I'm gonna be sick for like the whole week. Some people have been sick their whole lives, bro. What do you think they learn from being sick? How is their soul going to like evolve from an experience like that? Because some experiences don't make you better. That's the thing. Some experiences do not make you better. Some experiences actually make you messed up. Some experiences make you cynical. Some experiences make you hate the world. Some experiences make you want to exit. Because you would have been through a lot to still think you are having a positive experience. A lot of new age spiritual teachers teach their followers that they actually chose this experience. And that sounds believable, because it's hard to believe that you might have been brought here without your consent, especially when you go through hell. So that kind of sounds believable, but when we think deeply about it, it stops making sense. It stops making sense. You actually realize that it makes more sense to believe that whatever brought us here would want us to think that we are learning something while we're learning nothing. Because if we knew we were learning nothing, maybe we would make decisions that would actually help us free ourselves. Imagine if a person like who's very religious dies and then they meet someone like Jesus, and Jesus tells them that, hey man, look, you did well, but you didn't have a good relationship with your mom, you didn't have a good relationship with your dad. Can you go back and work on that? That's when you graduate. Come back into this thing, still don't really like, you know, learn anything. You go back, then whatever spiritual teacher you believe in tells you that, hey, actually this is what you had to learn and you didn't. It seems like we are. It makes more sense to believe that there will be higher beings that will be manipulating us the same way that we manipulate animals because we want to eat them. Same way that we manipulate chickens, we manipulate uh, pigs. Like, it's about us, it's not about them. So what makes you think that this experience is for us? We're here for ourselves. People who believe in God believe that He brought us here for a good reason. Like, they don't ever think, hey, what if there is a God, but then He didn't bring us here for a good reason? What if there is a God, but He's actually evil? Is that not possible? Doesn't that make sense when you look at what's going on? One of my favorite movies that I've actually watched recently is Guardian of the Galaxy 3. I like that movie because it shows us things from the perspective of someone who would wanna be a god, like high evolutionary. He used to experiment on lower life forms, and he will create new colonies, and he will tell themselves that, hey, I want to make the world perfect. I remember when they asked him why he was doing what he was trying to do, and he was like, hey, I'm trying to make the world perfect. Like, I'm not trying to destroy the world, I'm trying to perfect it. So he would do some experiments on lower life forms to try to create new creatures that he will put on a new planet, and he will be their god. He did some experiment on a raccoon that actually became super intelligent. This raccoon became more intelligent than he was, and he was surprised. He didn't understand how a raccoon can become more intelligent than he was. That raccoon was able to solve problems that he couldn't solve. One day, the raccoon solved the problem that he couldn't solve. Like, he was creating these new creatures, but they were very angry. The raccoon helped him. He figured out what the problem was, and then he helped him, and then he realized that no, the raccoon is right. Like, it actually did work. Like, his solution actually worked, and he was surprised. But what he didn't realize, like what the raccoon didn't realize was that he did not create him and his friends because he wanted to take them to like the new planet. He was just experimenting on them to figure out how they can create the perfect creatures. Once High Revolutionary told him that, hey, you thought, oh, we were creating you because we wanted to take you to the new colony. No. You were just experimenting on you. But I want your brain because you're intelligent. The raccoon became angry and told his friends that, hey, They don't care about us. They're going to kill us. They were just doing some stupid experiment. They couldn't realize that the high evolutionary didn't give a shit about him. And I think that's how people who are religious see God. Like, they see him as this perfect being. So even if he was doing some stupid experiment on everyone and he didn't care about anyone, they will still love him because they are naive, until he confesses to them that, hey, I don't give a shit about y'all. This is when they'll realize that no, it was never about us. It has never been about us. When you look at the way things work, you can see that this is not about us. It makes more sense to believe that this is not about us than to believe that it is about us. Religious people will go through the worst and still praise God. Like, what? He put you through that. Like, oh, it's the devil, it's the devil. Like, no, it doesn't make any sense to believe that it's the devil, because you believe that your God is more powerful than the devil. So really, he's the one who put you through that, and you're still worshiping him. It's Stockholm syndrome, really. It's crazy to me that humans believe that they are having a positive experience here, no matter what they go through. It's crazy, man. We need to be that honest with ourselves, because we have no idea what the heck is going on, man. We have no idea. Things just happen. Look at the kind of technology that our world operates on. We don't even know how we got here. Things just seem to happen. We're naive. We're like monkeys. But we see that people ain't happy. Most of the people who say they're happy, they're just lying to other people. They know that they're not happy. They're just not real enough. I do believe that there are people who are less happy than me, who are saying they're happy, or trying to make other people believe that they are happy. I'm just more honest. I've always been honest growing up. It's not like I'm this super depressed person, and I think most of the people who watch my videos are not really like super depressed. They're just real, because I talk to y'all guys and I realize that you're just honest about what's going on. It's not like you've suffered more than every person in the world and you're like, hey, this ain't it. No, you are just honest with yourself. But some people cannot be honest with themselves. And that's why they are doing things that make no sense. If people were really honest with themselves, they wouldn't even have children. Because it doesn't make sense to have a child in a world that you still do not understand. I like giving you this example. There's this episode that I like from Black Mirror. It's called White Bear, where a lady wakes up without memories of her past. She wakes up in this house, doesn't know who she is, doesn't know what her name is, doesn't know where she comes from. She doesn't even know where she lives. She gets outside the house and there's these guys that want to shoot her, and she struggles a lot. She finds people who were trying to record her. She tried to tell them, hey, there's these guys that are trying to shoot me, but they say nothing. She kept on struggling. Can you imagine if she decided to have children? That makes no sense, because she had no idea what the heck was going on. So us having children doesn't make any sense, because we have no idea what is going on. I do understand that people who have children are people who have kind of like been here for a while. But that doesn't mean that we know what is going on. I mean, if you've been here for like 11, 12, you can, I think I think it's, I don't even want to say it. But here's the thing. It's only possible to bring a child into this world when you've been here for a while. So people convince themselves that they know what is going on, or they convince themselves that people who came before them know what's going on. So they try to learn from these people and they copy them. Like, okay, this is what they did. They did that because they figured out what's going on. So I must just copy them. Like, nah. People don't know what the heck they're doing. That's the problem. Like, no one knows what the heck is going on. You would assume that some people know what's going on because of their confidence, because of their arrogance, but no one knows, man. I've had conversations with people who are powerful where I live, who seem to know what's going on, and because I'm that honest, I ask them very deep questions and realize they don't know anything. They're just not honest with themselves. And they're actually making money from lying to people. So they don't know what's going on, but people believe they do know what's going on. So they lie to these people and make money. Pastors, traditional doctors. People go to traditional doctors and pay them money. Like, hey, tell me what's wrong with me. Tell me why I'm unable to get a good job. Tell me why my relationships ain't working. Who's bewitching me? And these people just lie to them and make money. See, if you're going to be confident in this world and lie to people, you're going to make a lot of money. People who scam other people are people who are very confident. They don't really care about the truth. We just care about making money. Like, it's easy to scam people, bro. Like, if I wanted to become a pastor, I would become a pastor in a year, and I'll be very powerful. Tell people that, what, I used to be an internationalist. I used to make videos saying God does not exist, saying that if it did exist, it would actually be evil. I used to make videos saying that, but God showed me the truth. I've seen the glory of God. He loves us so much that He gave us His only Son. Do you understand that the amount of love that God has? To even do that. Like, He didn't have to do that at all. He would have just left us to suffer. So why did He do that? He did that because He loves us. He wanted us to grow. I mean, I can do that. It's so damn easy. Growing up, I used to preach. It's so damn easy. I wouldn't even have to prepare myself. Just read one scripture and preach. And talk for hours. That's so damn easy. It's so easy to scam people if you are willing to, but I know that there's something wrong that's happening, and I cannot do things that are gonna keep people in a very low state of consciousness. No. I'm trying to raise your awareness. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm trying to raise your awareness. You need to become more conscious than you are. That's the thing. Like, when a person watch my video, I want them to actually become more conscious than they are. I don't want them to like remain the same. There has to be some insights that they're going to like um gain from like watching my videos. When I watch videos from other YouTubers, that's also what I'm looking for. I'm trying to gain new insights. When I watch videos from Dead MF, I'm like, hey, I gotta gain new insights. Because he's not me, he's experiencing life from his perspective. So, of course, there are things that he understands that I might not understand because I have not experienced everything that he has experienced. He's viewing life from his own perspective. We might live in the same country, but he's viewing life from his own perspective. So I want to gain new insight. I want to grow. So here's the thing. I don't want people to watch my videos and not grow. That's why my videos are long, like most videos, like longer than most videos on YouTube. Uh, that's because I'm philosophizing. Like, this is philosophy on its highest level. Like, I'm philosophizing. It's not like I really know what I'm gonna talk about before I press record. I mean, I might have like an idea of what I'm gonna talk about, but not really. Like, I can't plan this. Like, hey, this is what I'm going to be saying. I just have to keep on philosophizing and keep on learning. I learn a lot from myself. So that's what's important. We need to figure out what is more true, other than going with what we've been told. Because it's very possible that we might have been lied to. That's the thing. Last week we had a guest. We had a conversation for about 2 hours. She seemed very confident, but I was try to make her see that it's possible that she might be wrong, because people who are super religious believe that there's no way they're wrong. So I was trying to make her see that, hey, I might be wrong. Like, me believing what I believe, or me having been able to like make my life better because I started to believe what I believe, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm on the right path. I remember asking her this question, and I like the fact that she did admit that I might be right. She said that she believes that Earth is a school and we're here to learn. We keep on reincarnating back here over and over again because we're learning, and we're not going to escape the reincarnation trap until we learn all our lessons. I asked her this important question. I said, what if there's this highly I Miss Moss sending Luciana? Alright, there's no Miss Moss. I asked her this important question. What if there's this highly advanced being that is lying to you and people who believe in new age spirituality, that's telling us that we are here because we are learning, and we keep on reincarnating back here because we are learning? What if that's what's happening? Do you really think that that is impossible? As he kept on avoiding that question, but then she later admitted that, yeah, it's possible that there might be this being that's like manipulating us. Because here's the thing, we still don't have any idea what is going on. So yes, we might believe that Earth is a school and we're learning, but it's also possible that there might be this highly advanced being that's like manipulating us the same way that we manipulate animals. I'm pretty sure that animals believe that, I mean, chickens, cattle, they believe that we are giving them food because we care about them. They might not like realize that we just want to eat them. That's what a lot of religious people do not understand. That's what a lot of people who believe they are spiritual, because they believe that, or they believe people like Bashar, people like Tilswan. These are my favorite people, by the way. Bashar, Tilswan, the little Cannon. She died, I think. I think she died like a couple of years ago. But they believe these people because they seem to be spiritual. They seem to have a connection with something that is much higher than us. But it's also possible that even if they do have a connection with something that seems to be much higher than us, it's actually using them. Is it to make us view this reality a certain way? Maybe this thing that's controlling this reality realizes that religion doesn't work anymore. So it was like, hey man, let me come up with a new form of spirituality. Then it came up with new age spirituality for people who are much more conscious, people who were able to escape religion. Then they started to like believe in new age spirituality, and it does make a lot of sense. That's the thing, like it does make a lot of sense, but only if you don't like question everything, only if you don't like go deeper. Once you go deeper, you realize that nah, something is off. If we're here to learn, why should we not remember our past lives? That's a very important question. If we're here to learn, we should be able to remember our past lives. We should be able to remember the lessons that we have learned in the past. Even if we don't necessarily remember our past lives, we must be able to remember the lessons that we have learned. If every time you incarnate here, you are a new person, there's a problem. And you might say, no, no, no. Maybe you're not a new person. Maybe the lessons that you have learned stick with you. So you might not know that you've learned some lessons. Let's just say in this incarnation, I've learned how to love. In the next incarnation, I will still be able to love without realizing that I've learned how to love in my previous life. And I think that's what that girl should have said that I was debating with last week. Because that would be a good answer, but there's still a problem. We are the way that we are because life programmed us to be this way. I want y'all to get that. You could actually become super conscious in just like one incarnation. You just incarnate and learn everything at once. Like you wouldn't necessarily need to keep on reincarnating. Like it's not a, it, it's possible to teach. Like let me put it this way: if I had the power to teach humans how to be like with just one incarnation, I would actually be able to do that. I would make them go through what I want them to go through to learn everything that they need to learn. It's not like there is so much to learn. I mean, people who are spiritual, I mean, who consider themselves to be spiritual, believe that we're like we're here to learn to love one another. We're here to learn how to like manipulate energy. So the Rose can say that a lot. But they believe that we're here to learn something positive out of this. Like we're here to learn how to be more, like how to be better. But it's not hard to learn how to be better. That is why now, like, people ain't as horrible as they could have been if we lived in a world where we were not learning anything, right? In a world where we weren't being showed how to be like good, right? In a world where we didn't have parents who were telling us that, hey, uh, don't bully other kids. Hey, don't steal. Hey, don't lie. Don't be manipulative. It's very easy to train a human. If we didn't have any training, like if we just were just allowed to just be humans, we would be horrible. So you can see that um the idea of humanity, like keeping on like reincarnating back here, is a lie. It's a trap. And that's really obvious. That's really obvious. We don't have to learn through suffering. You see, we don't have to learn through suffering. Most of the important lessons I didn't really learn through suffering. I mean, yeah, I've learned through suffering that there's something off. But I mean, becoming a better person, that's not how I've been learned that through suffering. There are a lot of things that I will not do to other people, not because I've learned that I shouldn't do these things, but because I've seen how these things affect other people. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do these things. I don't necessarily need to understand how these things affect them. I just know based on how they've reacted after these things were done to them. So I'm like, hey, I'm not going to do these things to people because this is how they normally react. So I don't necessarily have to suffer in order to like grow. And also, if we keep on reincarnating back here, we don't necessarily need to learn everything at once. Because there are some people who suffer their whole lives. You see that this person never really enjoyed their lives. Wouldn't it be better that we learn maybe 2 3 lessons at a time? Like you don't reincarnate back here and then have to learn a lot. Because remember, people who say that we chose this believe that we're eternal, right? Like we're here forever. So why is it that when we come here we have to learn a lot at once? You reach the age of 30 and you're still suffering. You reach the age of 40, you're still suffering. Age of 50 is just like you suffer your whole life. Why shouldn't we just learn one lesson at a time? If I'm here to learn how to master relationships, I learn that and then boom, I enjoy the experience. Why is it that you have to learn a lot at once? You have to learn how to master relationships. Um, you have to learn how to manipulate energy. You have to learn how to treat other people better. You have to learn how to control yourself. All these things at once. Why? It's imperative that you keep your eyes open. It's imperative that you don't lie to yourself ever. Don't ever lie to yourself. Don't ever feel like you have to be positive just because being positive is cool. Just because people are gonna clap hands for you because you're positive. No. Be honest. Be real. even if no one is going to clap for you, that's not for other people, that's for you. I've grown a lot from like being honest, from making these videos. I've grown a lot. Like I've really like, dude, in the last like 800 days I've grown a lot. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. I grew. I continue to grow. I continue to understand myself better. People don't do this. People don't have like deep conversations with themselves. So they don't grow. They stay at the same level of understanding. They can't even be honest with themselves. They just listen to what other people are saying because they're just trying to survive. But it's important that you introspect, try to understand yourself better. Why do you feel the way that you feel? Why do you think the way that you think? Is it possible that you might be right? Is it possible that you might be wrong? You keep on introspecting. I love doing that. I ask myself deep questions that a lot of people don't really ask themselves. Like if I'm like in a relationship with a person and it doesn't like work out, I need to figure out if there is something that I did wrong, or there's something that I didn't understand. And if there is, then I'm going to go back to them and be like, hey, look, I've realized that this is what I was doing wrong and I want to be better. Can we try again? If I'm friends with someone and there's something that I'm doing wrong, I will talk to them about what I'm doing wrong. Like, hey, I think this is what I was doing wrong and I want to be a better person. Like, I'm sorry about this. Or sometimes I'll just make it up to them. Sometimes I'll just make it up to them. When I do like this, like my mom is a very like loving person. Sometimes I do make mistakes. Sometimes I'm not fair. Sometimes I'm not I'm honest. But sometimes I'm not fair. Sometimes I can be selfish. When I realized that, hey man, I was selfish, I tried to make it up to her. I tried to have conversations with her like, hey, I think I may have fumbled and I would like to make it up to you. Because we can't be perfect all the time. That's the thing. We're still trying to figure this out. Like life comes with no instructions and we don't really know what we're doing. That's the thing. I'll be back. I can't imagine what it would be like for you, being brought up in a world that doesn't care for you. If I love you, tell me why would I do that to you? This world is so cruel, I wouldn't lie to you. If this place was good, I would have invited you. You don't see it, but I'm saving you like heroes do. From traumas, from headaches, from heartbreaks, from corruption, from greed and fake outbreaks. And the real ones too, it's better where you are. I know it's tempting, but never be tempted to come. There's nothing real here, kid, all we do is lie. And we lie to ourselves the most, that's how we got here. And the longer we stay, the more lies we invent. This world is a mess, everyone can tell. So I ain't creating no slaves for nobody. I'd rather speak the truth and save you with no worry. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, we'll make it work, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect,
Some people think I'm crazy cause I don't wanna bring you here. They'll tell you that they love you but they don't really care. They'll hate you till you break and say you're mentally sick, then give you a bunch of pills that makes you mentally sick. A lot of people lie, I'm just keeping it real. Acting like they do, but they don't care how you feel. Many people are in jail cause they were abused as kids, and we all know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Ain't no love yet, many people are full of hatred. They just act like they got your back, like a wheelchair in the wheelchair, when they are staring at your face, but they will tear you apart when you've gone away. I'm trying to save you from this, and they think that I'm selfish, which got me to think they don't know what is selfish. They're bringing keys into a world that is overpopulated. There's no jobs, just walls. This world is overrated, and the 1%, they be running the show, and there's nothing we can do. We just go with the flow. This world is cold, we all on our own journey, so it's okay to feel alone, cause this is not home. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. This really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, we'll make it work, but I doubt it. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I know that it hurts, but if the world was perfect, imagine if I brought you to this stupid red race, where you be chasing money, boys, girls every day, chasing love like you know what it is, like it's not just a chemical reaction that compels you to breathe. More slaves for the masters, motivated by greed, where they tell you that you are, but nobody is free. We in a prison planet, nobody can live real, and they act like this life is easy. Kids are dying, politicians are lying, Mother Earth is crying, animals are sighing. There's no compassion, there's no understanding, there's no hope, there's too much corruption. We all are trying, but we can't cope. So why bring it to hell if I can save you from it? Some don't see that it's hell, so they settle for it. And me, I've seen the truth, so I became an internationalist. I love you to death, that's why I'm bringing you to life. And I ain't too proud to tell you that I cry sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. And this really hurts me, but if the world was perfect, we would make it work, but I doubt it.
Yo, mess. You grind the night joke. Sharp. One of the reasons why I drink alcohol is that I think I start thinking like normal humans when I mean not really like, but I mean I start thinking the way that normal humans think. Not really like that. Like I won't reach the same conclusion still, but when I'm sober, my mind is all over. Like I'm aware of a lot of things. I'm aware of how people react to what I'm saying, how they feel about what I'm saying. You know, it's almost as if I can like read minds. But when I'm like drunk, I don't care about any of that. It does matter though. Like it's a good thing that I'm able to like read people, because that makes me understand them better. It is important that I'm able to read people. I don't really care what they think, but I care about knowing what they think. Let me put it that way. So let's say you think I'm wrong. I don't really care, but I need to know that you think I'm wrong, because I can learn from that. But sometimes, man, I just need to just switch my superpowers off for a while, and yeah, just be human for a while and just have fun, you know. So that's the reason why I drink. Sometimes I don't drink every day, but I love drinking on weekend, you know, Friday, Saturday. Sometimes I haven't like a drink on Sunday. Sometimes I do drink during the week when I want to go live. Just have fun with y'all guys. But yeah, this the reason why I drink. Because I think a lot. I love thinking, but dude, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. I get hungry very, like even when I eat right and my stomach is full, I get hungry very quickly because I think. I'm always like thinking. I'm always thinking. I'm addicted to thinking, and I do love thinking because I gain new insight and I heal. Right, like whenever I discover something that is more true, I heal. Let's say I was confused and I was stressing because I was confused, and then I realized what the truth is. I heal instantly. I'm not afraid of the truth. Like no matter what it is. Like I keep on telling you guys that even if the truth is that no one cares about me, no one gives a shit about me, no one even thinks about, like I don't think I would care. I don't think that's the case, but I don't think I would care because there are some things about me that are true that I've accepted, even though like a lot of people wouldn't accept this truth about themselves. So I'm not afraid of the truth no matter what it is. I can accept any truth. What I've struggled with is like dealing with confusion, just being confused, not understanding what's really going on. That's what I've struggled with. But the truth, so that's what I care about. What I care about is the truth. It doesn't really matter if a lot of people think that I'm wrong, as long as it is the truth. So yeah, to me what really matters is the truth. It's learning about the nature of reality and seeing things as they are than like believing in our delusions, because I think human beings are delusional, and I think there is something that we gain from being delusional. That's another problem. Like there's something that we actually gain from being delusional. I remember I gave y'all this example that when I was growing up, we used to play some games where we would, like, pretend to be parents, and we loved playing those games. And when other kids laughed at us and said that, hey, that's not how you should be, because you you are lying to yourselves. You'd rather play with us because we are real. We'll hate them. Why? Because we loved believing in our own delusions. So we didn't want people to tell us that, hey, this, like, the games that you're playing are not real. So I think that's how we are as humans. We love believing in our delusions. You see, if I'm very religious, I love like believing in my religion, even if it makes sense to not believe in my religion. I'll still believe in my religion because that makes me feel good as a human. It's like I'm programmed to gain something from feeling that way. Mike, kahle la a hi famba hi tshama kona ku va ku ani a ku grand no sweswi. I think ku grand ngam ku va ku ani phela swi swi ka tshameka sweswi. problem ya mina ntsena hi ku a hi na extension yo hi nga fika laha ivi hi tlanga music ka ti hi tshama leyi ku ri na direct no teka ni hi fa hi tshama laha namadyambu na swi twisisa cause hi nga chava ku yeah exactly but no hloko wa no ka tshame all right thank you guys.